The 12-year wait for Dragons Dogma 2 is about to end, and with that, there is a bunch of new features, characters, races, vocations, pawns, and more that you need to know about before diving into this massive open world RPG. So, let's go! Let me know in the comments if you're excited for Dragons Dogma 2 and what your main character's name will be. So, in Dragons Dogma 2, you play as the Arisen, very similar to Dragons Dogma 1, but these Arisens are those who have been chosen to challenge the dragon after losing their heart to the dragon. Now, in Dragons Dogma 2, it is a sequel to Dragons Dogma 1, however, it occurs in a parallel world that mirrors the world setting of the original game. And so, like the first game, the sequel's story will revolve around you as the Arisen, who, spoilers for the first 2 minutes of the game, you will lose your heart to the dragon, and then your journey will begin from there. This new parallel world consists of two nations, the Vermund, the human kingdom ruled by Queen Disa after her husband's death, and Batal, the home of the Beastren, led by Princess Nardinia. As the Arisen, you will be able to create your own character. Now, you'll be able to choose between like a human, an elf, or one of the new Beastren races. Now, there is a demo that's out right now where you can actually create your Arisen, but unique to Dragons Dogma 2 is you'll also create what's called a pawn, and you'll create your main pawn here in the character creation process, which you can actually do in that demo that's out right now. Now, both the Arisen and the pawn that you create can be transferred into the full game once it does launch, so you can do that process early. But in the character creation, you'll obviously be able to customize your own look and feel, but you'll also pick a vocation, more on that in a little bit, and your main pawn, their vocation, and their temperament. Now, pawns in the world of Dragons Dogma 2 are AI-controlled party members that will follow you along your journey. Now, you will be able to have 4 total in your party, one being your main pawn that you'll design in character creation, and then 2 pawns selected from the Rift, which will just be other player-created pawns. While there's no multiplayer here, these AI-controlled pawns will give you a bit of that feeling of being on adventures with other people, as there's a lot of interactivity with these pawns. They're not just mindless soldiers that will fight for you. These downloaded pawns will come with all of their experiences from other players when they've been out exploring in the Rift, as well as your main pawn as well will be sent to the Rift to explore with other players. Now, this will mean that they'll come with gear that you may not already have yet, but they'll also provide useful information about quests that they've been through that you have yet to complete. So this could mean leading you on the right location to where you need to go, or even just giving you information about, say, hidden chests or anything they find in the world. In Dragons Dogma 2, these pawns will also have specializations. An example shown in the showcase is that the player has a pawn that has the Woodland Wordsmith Specialist, which allows them to translate Elvish language so that the player can actually understand them when interacting with elves in the world. Now, these pawns will also have a vocation. Now, pawns can't learn all the vocations, however, they can only learn the basic and the advanced vocations. They can't use any of the hybrid vocations, which are player specific. So, speaking of those vocations, now I have a video already out that breaks down the basic vocations, and I'm working on another one which will go through all of the announced advanced and hybrid vocations as well. So I don't want to cover everything in excruciating detail here, as that content will be in other videos, but vocations are essentially classes, right? They define the combat style that you want to play. Now, every character from you yourself to all of the pawns will have a vocation, and you can pick your initial vocation during character creation for you and your main pawn, but you can actually change this throughout your journey. This can be changed at a vocation maester, which will be able to teach you more about different vocations, and you can learn those advanced vocations from them. The starting vocations are the Thief, which are equipped with daggers. Thieves are agile fighters who thrive in close combat. You've got the Mage, which is like a ranged specialist, casting spells and healing and other support spells. You've got the Fighter, which is a melee specialist, wielding a one-handed sword and shield. And the Archer, which are effective at that long to medium range, equipped with a bow to fire arrows at their targets. Now, in terms of advanced vocations, there are these advanced vocations that both pawns and player alike can learn. Examples of this are the Warrior, which is a melee specialist that can wield powerful two-handed weapons, or the Sorcerer, which is a magic user that can cast powerful spells with their two-handed staff. On top of that, you've got hybrid vocations like the Magic Archer, which is a combo of the Mage and the Archer, you may have guessed, but these are specializations that only the player character can learn. The ones that we know about currently are the Mystic Spearhand, which is a vocation that blends short-range weaponry with long-range magic, wielding a spear. The magic archer is the one we just touched on, which is an archer that can wield magic arrows to deal damage and heal and support their allies. The trickster is an entirely unique vocation that's equipped with a ceremonial sensor and specializes in sort of illusions and distracting enemies rather than straight up combat. So you won't necessarily be dealing damage with this class, you'll be dealing other effects on the battlefield. The Wayfarer is another new vocation that the Arisen will be able to wield every weapon and learn different skills from each vocation. So very flexible, but not as specialized as some of the others. There are apparently more vocations that we don't know about, which we'll learn more about when the full game comes out. Now, each of these vocations will have a set of weapon skills that are skills defined to the weapon that you're currently using. There are also core skills, which are skills specific to your vocation. And you'll also pick augments, which are like passive buffs that will further develop your kit as part of your vocation. All of this leads us into combat. Now, you'll be using all of these active skills as part of a skill system that you can cast in combat, along with both your light and heavy attacks. You'll also gain access to an action that's unique to your character's vocation. An example being the fighters being able to block or thieves being able to dodge. These will be unique actions to your specific vocation, really leaning into that playstyle of that character's kit. And just like the original, you'll fight monsters big and small and be able to climb them, knock them over, and use a pretty deep looking physics system to take on these challenges. In some of the previews and trailers, we've seen players like knock over trolls and have them hit their heads on walls and take damage, as well as being able to use the environment, like blasting holes in, say, rivers to like increase the water flow to like knock over the larger enemies. Your pawns will join you for all of these combat encounters using the kit that's involved in their specific vocation that's assigned to them. The combat system itself seems the most exciting thing to me. Not only will we be defining our own build, you'll have your 3 pawns with you to take on these massive characters that you can be taking on big flying griffins or massive trolls and all sorts of different characters and climbing on their backs and stabbing them. That was one of the funnest things about the original Dragons Dogma, is just that unique combat system and the flexibility in how you want to tackle these encounters. And that really seems to be prevalent in Dragons Dogma 2 as well, and I can't wait to see all these unique ways of taking out these creatures in the world. And speaking of that world, you will be exploring a open world roughly 4 times as large as the original. A detail that you should probably be aware of is that in Dragons Dogma 2, there is no unrestricted fast travel. You can't just bring up the map and fast travel wherever you like. There is a fast travel system known as ox carts, which will allow you to travel along very specific paths. We don't know these paths specifically, but one can assume that they're probably, say, city to city or town to town. But that exploration aspect of the game and actually having to walk to locations and then also walk back to locations as well is a core part of the gameplay loop of Dragon's Dogma. Now, on this journey, right, your pawns will obviously be coming to you, and as you embark on quests and other things out in the world, they'll help you find locations that maybe you're looking for or bring you to things that you can actually do in the world. And that emergent gameplay of just being out in the world and exploring and coming across things and finding things and seeing where that journey takes you is part of the core gameplay loop and mechanics of Dragon's Dogma 2, as that's something the developers have talked a lot about, is that creating an open world that's fun to explore and spending time in that world. So it'll be really interesting to see how that shakes out when we actually do get our hands on the game, which we will get our hands on the game pretty soon actually, as it's coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, X and PC on March 22nd, the same day as Rise of the Ronin, sadly. In addition to the standard edition, Capcom does have a deluxe edition as well, which you'll get the Explorer's Camping Kit, 1500 Rift Crystals, which are used to hire pawns or purchase special items, as well as the Dragon's Dogma Music and Sound Collection, and 6 in-game items as well. And by pre-ordering even the standard edition, you get the Superior Weapons Quartet, or the deluxe edition, where you get that plus the Ring of Assurance. But let me know in the comments if you're excited for Dragon's Dogma 2. Did you check out the demo? Have you created your character yet? Are you ready to go for launch? Thank you for watching this video till the end. Thank you to our members for supporting the channel. My name is NorZZa, and I hope you have a great day.